I'm unstoppable. Forget your defense, nothing but an obstacle. Run it back, switch it up, call it audible. Serving up them Hail Marys till the game over with the showstopper. So hot, you gotta blow on it. I said I'll huff and I'll puff, then I'll pass to my left while I'm looking to my right. Hit him right in the chest. It be looking like magic. Better give me the throne. I ain't talking about Patrick, but I rep my home. I'm never at the end of my zone. I'm bad to the bone. Eating up these pig skins like they chicharrones. And you a douche cabron. Mira, mira at the mirror on the wall. I'm the greatest of them all. They gon' put me in the hall. Your name is only written in a bathroom stall. Quit your stalling and make a play. My drive too long. Pop the clutch, I don't pump the brakes. I know what it takes to gain the muscle, get rugged. These butterfingers be fumbling. Squash the scrimmage and rub it in Robitussin. How I give them concussion. They see in double, they rushing and pass the shovel. The dirt and rubble, I bury them under it. Stay in your huddle and get 10 yards back. Never turn your back. I'ma pull your flag. I go full contact. Out punch, out kick like a shotgun blast on 1 out snap. It's a fact that I'm unstoppable. Forget your defense, nothing but an obstacle. Run it back, switch it up, calling audible. Serving up them Hail Marys till the...
What's good, Coach Nation? Welcome back to a new episode of Horseshoe Mob Podcast. And it's been a week after the draft recap where, some of us excited for the pick, some of us wasn't. But nevertheless, we gave B, B+, and C on our on our recaps or on our draft grades. So a week removed from the recap, now we're talking about what's remaining for the season that starts. But before we get into that, Harish, how are you doing, my guy? Uh-oh.
What's up, man? I'm doing good, bro. How are you?
I'm pretty good, man. My team moved on from the, round one of Houston Rockets now. I don't know what the score is now for the OKC game, but they're moving on to, a great, potent team who's just removed from winning the championship. So, they got OKC is going to be a tough one, man.
Nah, Lakers in 7.
I hope to.
I will never. OKC is one of those teams I'll never root for. I don't like the city. I don't like the organization. I don't like the fans. I don't like the GM. I don't like the coach. I don't like anything about that team.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hey.
I have no respect for that organization.
And I understand that, man, because I don't have too many respect for my division over there in the Pacific. So I don't care for the Suns. I don't care for the Clippers.
Sure.
Well, of course, Clippers. The Kings. And it's definitely not Golden State when they had that run, when they had their four championship run. So I understand that. But man, let's get into some Colts football, man. And before we get into that, let's talk about why we're here in our sponsorship, guys. And that is fanbuttersports.com, where you can follow us on Substack. You can catch all the past episode articles. And, you'll be seeing some merchandise pretty soon. And with that merchandise, it's a new logo. We got a new look, guys. If you can see it on social media, we got a brand new logo that we just put out today after the fans voted for it. We asked the fan what they want. Did they wanted the new logo or keep the old one? And they voted new logo, and they like the one that we published the other day. Well, published today, but we posted the other day to get a vote. And so they all voted that they like the new logo. So if you've seen it on Facebook, give us a thumbs up. Comment below. Also, follow us on it, as well as Twitch, X, and other social media networks that we have it on. And then if you're on YouTube, give us a like, give us a comment, and also give us a subscribe so you can let us know that you're here. Give us support. We appreciate your support. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. So let's get into this episode. And we touched a little bit of it on last week. And been talking about it since the season started, since the season ended, with all the moves that were made. AP re-signing, traded Michael Pittman for a 7-round pick to Pittsburgh Steelers. We already traded A.D. Mitchell during the season for Sauce Gardner, sent him to the Jets. So now there's a void for wide receiver 2. We touched on it a little bit, but we really didn't get depth in it. So this episode is going to be by committee, because it seems like we're going to be by committee by receivers, also with the edge rusher, but we talk about the receivers first. So with our receivers, you have, obviously, AP is going to be your receiver 1, but there's a huge void at wide receiver 2. Harish, what you think the team may do with that wide receiver two? Give it to Josh Downs, maybe uh, be committee for us. Having between him and Burks switch out, Ashton Doolin. We got the pickup free agency from the Miami/Titans and Westbrook, Nick Westbrook, Indiana kid. What you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's a great opportunity for a guy like I think Josh Downs gonna be your number two.
Okay.
Like, there's a reason why they shipped Michael Pittman off,
Yep.
right? And sometimes even in like a wide receiver by committee, running back by committee, it feels like you have to like give some guys breathing room to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Downs is now in his third year, and so now you're at a point to where it's like you've got to make a decision in a year or two. What's the future of Josh Downs, and you have to give him the opportunity to grow. I think this is a sign to say, hey, we're going to invest in Josh Downs this year and next year, and see if he has that room to grow. And then if you look, like, obviously it's so early, and we were so off last year. But if you look at next year's draft, and the Colts don't have a first round pick, so even in the first round, this doesn't really matter. But if you look at next year's like potential prospects, if it doesn't work out for you, you're gonna be okay, right? Obviously, the top three are Jeremiah Smith, Cam Coleman, Ryan Williams, and Colts have no shot at any of those guys. But if you go down even further down the list, you've got guys like Brian Wesco Jr. out of Clemson, who didn't have a great year this last year because of the injury, but he was excellent wide receiver, right? That's a guy you can pick up in the second round. Talk about Mario Craver out of A&M, and we both aren't like big A&M fans, but Mario Craver is an excellent receiver. You got Ryan Wingo. Ryan Wingo played with an injured hand last year, and a lot of people don't know that. So there's a lot of depth in this wide receiver room next year, to where it's like, you just transfer.
I see you stacking a little bit.
Oh, am I?
Okay, you better now.
Okay.
Did you mention Cam Coleman from y'all?
I did, but we don't have a first round pick, so you have no. You're not going to have an opportunity at any of those guys.
What about Ryan Williams?
No, you unless Ryan Williams drops in the draft, which I don't see. Like, I think your top three receivers are Ryan Williams, are obviously Jeremiah Smith, right?
Yeah.
Generational wide receiver.
Yeah.
Cam Coleman and who's the guy you just mentioned?
Ron Williams.
Ryan Williams, right? Those are probably your top three
Okay.
as of today, right?
Okay.
We don't know what's going to happen when the season comes around, but there's a lot of guys that could fall in the second, third, fourth round that are really good receivers that could still make an impact for this team, and honestly could probably start next year, not next year, but even in 20 years. So I think I think Deion Burks is going to make an impact. He's going to make this team. And then I think your top three will end up being Pierce, Downs, and then Deion Burks, and then everybody else plays running back or wide receiver by committee.
So, what you said, what you're saying does make sense, because those guys, we're looking at it, taking those guys in college, are looking at those guys have a bigger jump than they did the previous year. Ryan Williams, Cam Coleman didn't have a good year at Auburn. Ryan didn't have a great year at Alabama. So those guys, you're looking for those guys to take a jump from their previous years to put themselves in position to be first round picks. Obviously, like you said, we don't have a first round pick for 2027 because we traded it for Sauce Gardner. Like you said, with Josh Downs, I'm looking at his production from 23 and 23 when we were drafted. He had 68 targets for 771 yards, 2 touchdowns. 2024, he had 72 receptions, 803 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He was averaging both of those years. He averaged 11 yards a game, a play. Then last year's where he kind of took a nosedive, in production with 58 receptions, 566 yards, 9 yards per catch, and 4 touchdowns. And this as a third option. You had AP, you had Pierce. It was a lot of going on to play a part in that. Now he has a opportunity to take the next jump to be an outside guy to increase his production. Because if you recall, Alec Pierce was in that same situation. Alec Pierce, we was like, what is going on with him? We drafted him in the second round. His production was low, as Josh Downs were, and then it took into contract year where he boosted up his stats. Still didn't have a lot of receptions because, I mean, to have 1,000 yards, only 47 catches. I mean, and with 7 touchdowns, I think he had. It's still impressive to get that contract that he, deserved and he earned. So it seemed like Josh Downs would begin to make that turn to get his production between this year and next year to warrant that nice contract. Wouldn't be an AP contract, but it'd be a nice contract to be wide receiver number 2 to fit in that. Then we got other guys that'll play part in that in the offense. Like you said, we don't know where 2027 draft would be, where we would land at. We don't know what could happen. Could trade back in the first. We could get another receiver that could start. Burks taking that role as well, taking his production as a rookie. Depends on how things flow. He may be in offense because, let's face it, Doolin and Nick Westbrook is aren't guys that are a threat in this offense. They make plays, but they're not a threat. Defense is not having sleepless nights thinking about those two guys. But having Josh Downs and Alec Pierce definitely does that, and Burks as well because of the speed on the outside and in the middle as well. So, how comfortable are you with this offense until then?
I mean, I'm less confident in the offense than I was like this point last year. Even with Daniel Jones last year, right? I could see a vision. Like I was like, okay, it makes sense, right? Like I could see this offense doing pretty well. Yeah. Now, the first 10 weeks of the season, this offense exceeded my expectations, right? First and foremost, I still have concerns about Daniel Jones. And his injury is mostly my concern versus like his ability to run the offense. I know Daniel Jones can run the offense. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about that piece of it. And he's only 28. I actually thought he was 30. He's not even 30 yet, which is crazy to think about.
Still young, huh?
Yeah, so he's still relatively young. He's technically at the peak of his career, which you would hope, like, he was playing at the highest level, and really he was until the injuries hit him again, right? So, the trajectory, we've seen what it could be, and I think that's a little encouraging. I'm just not sure what he looks like, coming off of an Achilles. Now, I don't know who his surgeon was or any of that, but if you look at a guy like around the same age, like a Jason Tatum, Tatum coming off an Achilles looked really good this year. And typically you don't see that, right? Like he wasn't his old self, but given the age, given the injury, given the turnaround time and the lack of play, Jason Tatum looked pretty good when he played this year. And so if you can even get like something like that from Daniel Jones, and that might be like a B or B plus quarterback play, I think this offense will be okay.
Well, it did concern me a little bit more with Jason Tatum, and along with Daniel Jones, is he rushing too soon? Because Jason Tatum seemed like he might have ramped up his rehab and came back, and then they hurt the team in the long run because he wasn't available for Game 7, and then ultimately they lost where they was up 3-1.
Yeah, but the way I would look at that isn't like Jason Tatum did too much too fast. I would look at that as like, as the Celtics organization, right? They didn't know what to expect because they knew they were playing assuming he wasn't coming back, right? And so when they ended up with the second seed, I mean, they honestly they exceeded. That's more proof as to why they kept Jaylen Brown more than anything else.
Correct.
So I don't think that has anything to do with Jason Tatum. I don't mind him sitting Game 7 out. Again, he just came off of an Achilles injury, and a physical series. You don't know. Like, did something happen between Game 6 and Game 7? We don't really know, and they could be hiding it, inside, right? And they don't tell anybody, so you don't really know what's going on. I'm fine with it. I don't really care personally. The Celtics fans are gonna count this season as a win because they exceeded expectations. Honestly, I expected the Celtics to be closer to where the Pacers ended up being, right? In the lottery, potentially getting a high draft pick and potentially drafting the next future of the franchise, right? But I think they exceeded expectations.
So you don't think there's a possibility or a slight chance that Daniel Jones could do the same thing, even though they say right now he's on pace to make that deadline for training camp
He could.
And be a full goal.
He could.
So,
and if he does, great. But I'd be concerned about like what does that actually look like, right?
right.
And we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in a second.
And schedule plays a part too, because if we get that, like last year we had a softer schedule, and then we met that 5-6 game stretch where we had a tough opponents, starting with Steelers, and we started getting those guys where it was, Seattle Steelers. It was getting ugly. It got ugly. And then he got hurt in that Steelers game where Steelers, applied the pressure on our O-line and got to him. Kept getting to him and hit those hits, and we didn't know. We still don't know when the injury happened. We still don't know. We don't know if it's that game.
We'll never find out.
We'll never find out because they played him with the fibula. They played him. Even though they say he wanted to play, but they played him. Maybe they sat him down, get that recovered, get that, get him to kind of get that injury to come down a little bit, let it recover a little bit, and have Riley or whoever, Anthony Richardson, whoever that was available to play. Then you wouldn't have that, have another injury or whatnot, because he played more. He tried to do his best to will us to those victories. Because, like I said, 8-2. You see, we had a great 10-year start. 10-week start, but then injuries happened, and that's where we was. Went 8-2, lost the rest of the 7. It was painful. So hopefully he can come back. Come back, because he missed all those games. So he was able to sit and rehab. So he should be on pace for training camp, and should be on pace to, have a decent year, or at least a great year. In the contract, we have an out. If it doesn't work out, we have an out to where we could move from that and move on to something else. So I know you say that you those concerns there, but we got Riley, we do still possibly could still have AR, and we can go ahead and talk about that as well. We talk about that later. Let's talk about the shift over to the edge. We've been talking about the draft where we didn't get an edge rusher. They did get some guys like Caden Curry. They did get George Gum Jr. from Florida, but obviously those guys, it seemed like they won't make a huge impact. But in the free agency, they went and got Michael Clemens from the Jets, former Jets player. They also got Arden Key. He bounced around the league from the Titans. He played with who else? They played with the Raiders. Moved around the league. Veteran guy. He's not pretty much a high sack type of guy, but he definitely set the edge and stopped at run. And same as Michael Clemens. So I guess they're relying on Latu to make an impact in that edge rush category, or we're just going to be by committee. How are you feeling with this? You do think they have a game plan with Lou Anarumo may do something to offset what we don't have?
This edge room is a disaster.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's really bad. I don't even know where to go from here. Quite honestly, like, you have Latu, and that's pretty much it. Like who's edge 2 on this team right now?
It may be Arden. Arden or Michael Clemens.
That's depressing.
Yes, it is.
Because neither of those guys have shown any. I don't even know who Michael Clemens is. Where did he come from?
New York Jets.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the Jets had a decent defensive line, but that was predicated mostly on the interior, right?
And they had Quentin Williams. They had what's the guy named McDonald, the 99, the edge rusher who was pretty good. Jermaine Johnson, who was traded to the Titans. So those are the guys they had on their front.
Yeah, and then Arden Key, godly, like why won't that guy just retire? Like I cannot believe we signed Arden Key. Of all the choices you had, Arden Key, you're really honestly, your only hope of this edge room not being complete trash is hoping that JTT Tuimoala
Jalen, yeah, JT, yeah, JTT.
JTT takes a step, and then you gotta hope one of these guys, Caden Curry, or you gotta really hope Caden Curry was just an absolute steal in the draft.
Is Taekwon still there, or he gone?
Oh, they got rid of Taekwon because he can't stay healthy.
Okay.
He would have been your second best edge if he was still there, but he can't stay healthy. And so it really comes down to like where do you go? Like we just talk about this every week, like how bad, poorly built this defense is. And it's been poorly built for 10 years now. Most teams build defenses from the inside out, and we built it from the outside in. Like our safeties were like our number one priority, but then every position it took like 3 or 4 years to build, which doesn't make sense.
And the issue is we're not now on our third DC. You know, we get it that Gus was a problem. We can go ahead and say that. We can go ahead and get it out the way. Gus is a problem. But then you have guys like, Matt Eberflus did a good job when he had Darius Leonard. But then when he didn't have Darius Leonard, he folded. Now you got Lou Anarumo. Is a fallback. Is he going to be the fallback guy? Because you're not getting the weapons that he had with Cincinnati. He had a back end. He had a front four. Front four. And now you don't have the same tools.
Going from Flus to
Gus.
The Gus is basically like going from cheddar cheese to pepper jack cheese. Like
Bad.
It's cheese.
Yeah.
It's literally they run basically like 95% the same system. And both of those defenses were bad last year. Eberflus's defense in Dallas was atrocious.
Yeah, that's why he got fired.
Yeah. And then Gus Bradley's defense was awful the year before that, right? This just goes back to like how poor Chris Ballard is as a GM. He's just a bad GM. It's that simple.
I still want to know what is he saying year after year when we underperform. What is he saying because they say everybody's evaluated each year from top to bottom. What is he saying when he's interviewed on Black Monday? When they say, hey, there's a chance that you can get released. What is he saying? I mean,
I don't think it matters. I don't think there's a threat. I don't think there's ever been a threat that I'll be honest. There can't be. Right? You would think that there's a threat like now, but here, and I understand from like Carly's point of view why she hasn't pulled the trigger. To her, it doesn't make sense at this point to fire him or Shane. It doesn't.
Not right now, yeah.
Financially, it makes no sense because you're going to pay out a huge buyout when you can just let their contract expire and you give them a couple $1 million. Right?
And we're good to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Carly didn't renew Steichen and Ballard. That was Jim Irsay that did that. Rest in peace, Jim Irsay, but that was Jim Irsay that did that. That wasn't a Carly move. Those two will be gone after the year.
Well, I can't wait.
And it'll just be like mutually parted ways, basically. Because they're not going to renew their contracts.
Are you wanting Shane to go, or you think he's only as only good with the parts he's given.
I
And
think
it,
I kind of feel bad for Shane in a way, but also like Shane exceeded expectations. Was that year one
yeah,
that and then he even like kind of fell by the wayside, right?
yeah,
And so it's hard to say. Like, is that a culture issue? Probably, but is that also like lack of coaching? Maybe. Lack of experience, definitely. It just makes it so difficult to go back and be like, well, it's this one reason why Shane isn't doing well, right? Shane hired the DC, Lou Anarumo this time.
yeah,
Shane refuses to give up play calling when he knows that it's been an issue.
yeah.
So I think it's like it's difficult because I like Shane. I think he's a great coach, but I do think he falls into that trap of like, how do I go away from being an OC to being a head coach? And typically it's these younger guys that don't figure that out that struggle the most. And that's why it's not always like the greatest to go like after the hottest OCs, because they're basically like they're it's just so hard to like say, oh yeah, this guy was a great OC, he's automatically going to be an excellent.
The problem too is that he came under the Nick Sirianni tree. You know how Nick Sirianni he didn't. It finally took him a while to give up OC because his job was he was in under the hot seat.
And the Eagles'
now,
offense still sucks.
Yeah, it does.
So he's not a good head coach either. Nick Sirianni benefits from an excellent GM.
I was about to say that. Yeah, having a great GM
Right.
definitely helps him have his job. It's not hard to coach talent. Talent is pretty much sometimes coaches itself. So it's easy to do that.
Yeah. If Nick Sirianni had Chris Ballard as his GM, he would have been fired a year ago.
Well,
He's an
most
awful head
fans
coach, too.
most fans wanted Nick Sirianni over to take the job over Frank Reich, which at that time I take
That
that.
didn't make sense either. Yeah. Well, that didn't make sense. Why would you give the guy the head coaching job who was under the guy who was trash?
Well, I guess because Frank Reich was the only one calling plays, he didn't give it to Nick Sirianni, and he didn't give it to Brady, who they scapegoated, Marcus Brady, who they scapegoated.
It's just poor organizational management. It's just poor leadership, right? And you feel for a guy like Shane, but you know how it works when a new GM comes in, always going to want to find their guy.
Clean house.
So, yep. I mean, you might not. Don't be surprised if we get a new GM, right? Don't be surprised if a lot of these guys are gone. Even like, forget the coach, even like the roster will flip because that's just what happens. New philosophy, new direction, new schemes, kind of new everything, right? Like everything changes, and so there is no point in like holding your breath that anybody stays if the GM is.
My only assessment would be if the new GM sees that obviously it wasn't Lou Anarumo's fault, so he said, "Hey, well, we're definitely going to keep you because it wasn't your fault that you didn't have all the tools to be the guy that this mad scientist that we know you could be." Same thing with Tony Soprano, the offense coordinator. I mean, the O-line coach. It's hard to move on from you when your offense been top 5 since you've been here. It don't matter when you had Steichen or Frank Reich. You have had a great group, and your system has been, perfect. So so they keep certain guys, but they typically, you say, clean house. Everybody from the top go. Everybody can go. Ed Dodd, go. Whoever, go. Get out of here because you guys are not making. You guys have not made this team better.
It's been 10 years. Like
It's been
at
10
this
years.
point, it's been 10 years. You've had plenty of opportunity to make this. Plenty of opportunity.
And go ahead.
This regime is so bad that every team in this division has won the division except for
Yeah, all of them.
crazy.
Except us.
It's crazy. Like with all the top picks that Jacksonville and Tennessee and Houston, right? Like they've all been through like a really really bad to building, and they've all won the division in the last 10 years. And then you can't say injuries are the excuse. The Tennessee, remember, was it like 3 or 4 years ago? Mike Vrabel had the most injuries of all time,
And still
and he
made it
got
one
the
seed.
number 2 seed. So what's your excuse? What is your excuse? Like to me, there's no longer an excuse for this organization's failure.
I'm just, like I said, I've been ready for a new voice in this organization. We got a new voice for its owner, but having a new voice as a GM and a new philosophy. Not saying go and spend all the money in the world. We're not. I'm not. I'm never going to say that. I'm not saying go out here and give everybody $40 million contracts a year. I'm not saying that. I'm saying get a culture to where we are trying to win games consistently on a week to week base, year to year base. We haven't had that because we're still saying the same thing. We're still saying, we still have an episode where we're saying no defense. Our defense sucks. We just got some receivers now. We're mentioning this. The same thing it's repetitive. It's redundant. It's the same thing over and over and over and over. And I get tired of repeating those things. As a fan, I love the team. I'm not going anywhere, but it's like I'm tired. And I know they read emails. I know they read social media. I know they see these things where the fans are upset that we're not getting the things that we need. We're not getting why we have to support this team. We're not getting that because they're not showing that consistently every year why we should do that. Yeah, they traded for Sauce Gardner, cool. But then our quarterback get hurt. Where is your backup playing at? The Texans had one when CJ got hurt. Davis Mills stepped in and won 3 games in a row. They went on a run. They had the same defense. They had the same weapons. They just continue to win. Colts, we lose a
that
part,
team
we're
is
done.
built. The Texans are built off of an elite defense.
Correct.
We can hate the Texans all we want. That is a Super Bowl defense.
Correct.
So you can hide some of the discrepancies you have on offense because that offense. And look, C.J. Stroud's going to figure it out, right? He had a down year. He had some injuries. That O-line, I think they may figure it out this year. I don't know. He doesn't have his second best receiver. That hurts a little bit. They're also thin at wide receiver, in my opinion. But C.J. Stroud is going to be just fine. Like Houston could be like a top 5 Super Bowl favorite.
Yeah.
And they just added to an already. They literally just added to an already juggernaut defense. They traded up to do it, right? This is the kind of stuff that I don't understand. Meanwhile, Chris Ballard still has no second edge rusher. Waits until the 5th round, and drafts a flyer, and then he comes out on the podium at the end of the draft. It's like, hey, we really like his traits. I don't care about those traits. Can the guy play football? Because that's a sport you're paying him to play.
Correct.
And yeah, I mean, there's no reason to continue on.
Well, see,
terrible GM.
I do like the C.J. Allen pick. I do like that. I will say that I like Burks.
CJ was great, but he was kind of his hand was kind of forced into that pick.
Well, I thought it was. It said it was supposed to be. It wasn't. Rodriguez out or gone. It was another linebacker. I think from Cincy he was trying to get Jake.
Yeah, that would have been a stupid pick. Thank God.
Gaudet, yeah.
Yeah, thank God somebody picked him because that would have been a stupid pick too.
Well, when he traded down, that would have been his guy because he was afraid. That's what they said. They always say, well, our guy was always there. So we don't know if the guy was C.J. Allen or it was Jake Gaudet. But I think it was reports that that somebody was going to draft him when he traded back down to 53 from 47. So, like you said, probably would have been a bad pick for us had he traded down, and then you still didn't get your guy because you see what happened with Philly. Philly was on the phone with a player, and they drafted him. Somebody's on the phone. Pittsburgh's on the phone with a player, and Philly drafted him.
Yeah, Makai Lemon.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's
that was insane. That was kind of strange.
I mean, but it's crazy because it's about to draft him, and then Philly traded up and got him. Wow, that's kind of
While he was on the phone, right?
Yeah, while he's on the phone with the team that's about to call and draft. So that's messed up.
That'll live in infamy.
Wow. Because so how that works out? Okay, so Dallas was on the clock, right? Steelers would have the next pick. So I guess they already called and said, "Hey, well, we're gonna draft you when we're on the clock." I guess that's what happened.
Yeah, well, because I mean, so when you look at the board, right, you're looking at the team ahead of you and the team behind you, right?
Yeah.
And you've probably done enough scouting and especially if it's like the Steelers or the Eagle, they know these teams pretty well, right? Like especially like you're gonna know your rivals pretty well. So you're like, oh, Dallas is definitely gonna go with the defensive player, right? Because everybody knows that defense was atrocious, right? And so, but what you don't know is you cannot make the trade and you cannot trade down until you're on the clock.
And that's what Dallas did. They was on the clock, and then
Dallas,
before,
there's a video of Dallas trying to make a trade while they're on the clock, and they're actually looking at the time. It's like, hey, we've only got X amount of minutes. We only have X amount. So they're scrambling to make a call and make the trade, and so you have to make the call to the other team, and then you have to call like essentially like a draft coordinator, right? Where you call a draft coordinator, and you're basically like, hey, this is what we're giving up. This is what we're getting in return. And then the coordinator essentially has to say, okay, cool, locked it in, you're good to go. Then the trade becomes official.
and so obviously Steelers wouldn't know that being up next, but the Cowboys would have to pick. So, and they traded up to Eagles to take that pick. That's crazy.
And the Steelers
Wow.
were never going to know that, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to know it until it happens. Which is why, as the Steelers, they were stupid for showing their hand.
They did because you called them too soon.
Right. You call them soon and you got way too excited. So without knowing what was going to happen, they got way too excited.
Dang. Yeah, I don't want to be. I don't. I hope the Colts are never in that situation, which we know that could happen. And then the thing is, it never happened really for us two division teams doing that, screwing over a team. When have you? Because I was like during that draft pick, that pick, I was like, I said the Cowboys and the Eagles are doing business.
Yeah, but I think like when it comes to trading and the draft, all those like rivalry things go out the window, right? Because just because somebody trades up, everybody has their board. And one thing I will give Chris Ballard like credit for is like he's very honest about like what their board and their minds look like, right? Us as fans and like the media and what blah 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 blah. This is why I think draft evaluation is like pointless. All these guys that like get hired to evaluate all these players and like mock drafts and all this crap, I think it's pointless because at the end of the day, it's rare. Obviously, beyond like the number one pick, it's rare you're going to be right.
Right.
Your best percentage of correctness is probably less than 40%. Because you have no idea what these teams are thinking. You could be like, man, the Colts really need Anthony Hill and they're going to draft him. But then internally, they're like, no, I mean, we had Anthony Hill as our fourth linebacker. We actually have CJ Allen as our third linebacker, our first linebacker, or whatever, right? Because all the teams do their own rankings, right?
Yeah, for each player.
And they do it off of a completely different criteria than maybe what these analysts do it on. And so we might say, oh, best player available, but they might be thinking, oh, this is our opportunity to get our guy at the value that we think they can.
Because obviously, every team don't go by that best player available. Because obviously, Colts don't often do that. They don't.
Yeah.
They haven't. Because again, with Latu, he wasn't the best player available. It was worse from the Rams. You had Dallas Turner was better. But did they get Latu because he fit our team and our scheme, or because Dallas Turner would plays like linebacker, like Greenyer plays? So I understood that. I understood that. I didn't react like I would normally do. Now Verse, I'm like, well, hey, I definitely would take Verse. I definitely would take Verse.
You probably have 2 or 3 guys you're interested in, right? But at the same token, then there's a money aspect to it. How much does
Yeah.
it cost? Right?
Yes.
Are we willing to pay this much to take this guy in this round?
Yes.
'Cause these guys hit the salary cap. It's not like they're free. So they don't hit as much, but they still hit, right? And so you have your own like separate draft salary cap, and you do everything else. And so you can't just go get the best guys. You have a draft salary cap.
I was looking at like Latu, in 2014, we had the opportunity to get Verse, and we chose Latu as the first defensive player drafted that year. And then it's when I think, and then we had Mitchell as well, the cornerback, Quinyon Mitchell. He got drafted for the Eagles. So cornerback was a possibility too. I mean, I'm not saying edge wasn't a main focus because it was. So it just had me thinking, what does Ballard sees in his draft room or on his draft board, as you say, getting best player available? Because it wasn't best player available. It was not. Latu was good.
Yeah.
Huh?
According to them.
According to them.
It wasn't. Yeah.
We're getting played right now. They hold us on that one. That's not a goal 10. My bad.
It's an interesting conversation, but regardless, though, the fact that there's no priority to the edge this offseason, and we're going to go into another season probably with not getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback again.
Well, they have to find ways. We have to find more ways to do that. Because this is it's not gonna help. It's not gonna help us at all. We have to find ways to get to those quarterbacks. I'm intrigued on next week when they do the the scheduling, how our first couple games, who will get first week one, and then how our first 5 games will look. Not saying I want bad opponents. I want us to go out come out the gate winning like we did last year, just winning, and see how this defense does in that process, getting to the quarterback. And that will definitely help us. We'll know more about how our pass rush will look, how our receivers will look, because right now everything is unknown. We still have ways to go. We just seen how Stephon Diggs just was not guilty in his case, so he might be available for us to sign. Juwan Jennings, we don't know if he got a high price tag to where he's not getting the contract that he wants, because obviously right now he's not getting that $20 million a year.
At this point, you might get veterans minimum.
Yeah, everybody's available, and like I said, I think
right? These players have to take that risk, right? Are
Yeah.
you as a player going to adjust your own? Like the Niners are probably going to pay him a pretty penny. Now he might not even get paid like what the Niners originally were going to pay.
Well, they moved on and signed Mike Evans to that $60 million deal.
Mike Evans, and then they also picked up a wide receiver from Ole Miss in the draft.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but yeah, they did draft. Yeah, they did.
So, but yeah, that's the risk you take.
We need to have a plan because this can't be what we think that going into the season. This is going to propel us to a playoff status. Winning.
Plan it is every year, Josh.
Yeah. And I know it, and I still like it can't be it. It can't be it. And I keep saying that this can't be it, but then it is.
It is. I don't even pay attention to like Colts transactions, right?
You say you don't?
No, there's no point because it's like, the Colts have picked up some guy I've never heard of. He worked at the supermarket yesterday. He's going to be on the practice squad.
Correct.
Like there's no point.
I don't get excited for free agency anymore. I don't get excited for really the draft anymore, unless we have a clear cut on what our needs are, I know that our team is going to go out and get that need, and our team to do that. Our need was rush. We didn't do that in the free agency. I know we had cap situations going. I understood all that part, so I didn't really focus on it because you needed Daniel Jones back, you needed Alec Pierce back, so we had to make some moves, trades, and stuff like that to get available cap. But then we knew we had 20, 30 million in cap. I said, okay, well, there's still some guys out there.
Yeah.
Well, AJ Espinosa out there, Bosa out there. I mean, those guys out there, but he's not moving on that. He's not.
He probably won't. So Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it.
That's it. So, um, and we got one last thing before we get up out here, guys. You know, we've been on too long. We thought this was gonna be a short episode. We said this before we started, but this guy is back. You know, obviously him and Kenny Moore both requested a trade because they feel like it's time to move on to another team in the next chapter. And it's not, and Colts not viewed in that next journey that they have. Obviously, Kenny Moore, he hasn't shown up to rookie mini camp, and also Anthony Richardson, both volunteered for those guys. But as of Monday, Anthony Richardson Sr. It was seen back in camp, and just being around, showing his face, doing some things that he need to improve on and get himself better. How you feel about this with him not being traded? It said there was no trade value, and they didn't say they just outright release him because they're trying to trade him and send him to a team that he wants to and better himself as a quarterback and as a player.
At this point, I think it's just weird. Like he probably doesn't want to be here at this point. The Colts don't know what to do with him. But the crazy thing is, I'd make him your backup. He has to be your backup
Over Riley, just go ahead and do it.
for
Okay.
sure, for sure.
Okay.
That's it's that simple. And I think it might actually buy you. He might, depending on how like Daniel Jones comes into like OTAs and camps and stuff. They might need him to start the season, and they might use that as like a way to say, "Hey, start the season because we don't know when Daniel Jones is coming, or we don't want to rush him to come back." If
Definitely.
the front office is smart, but I don't know if they are.
When you say if the front office is smart, I mean you already know what this front office is, what they do. So you already know that currently can see what working with his agent, trying to see what the best place he can go, and right now there's no trade value. The teams that
Yeah,
need a quarterback are picking up guys. Packers just picked up Tyrod Taylor yesterday, so he's off the board.
he's not going anywhere.
So he's not going anywhere. There's no available. I mean, where are he going to go? I mean, the Titans still have
Unless somebody gets
Willis.
hurt. Unless somebody gets hurt.
Yeah, until somebody get hurt. It's best to go ahead and just keep him because last year we saw that we didn't have a quarterback. We had to go get Phillip Rivers, a guy that haven't
Yeah,
played in
that's
five
true.
years.
I
So
would make him your backup for sure.
I'll just keep him. Now, if he wants to trade, if the team definitely wants him, then you see what the value is, and if it fits, if it's right for your team, go ahead and make that move for him and give him opportunity to work perfect his craft somewhere else. If you don't think it's going to be with us,
What
uh,
is this value?
I don't know. I don't know. He has none. He has none. I mean, 6, 7 round, fifth, sixth, 7 round.
Hmm. Yeah, that sounds about right. Probably like a sixth or seventh. Probably a seventh, honestly.
And I don't think they want. It seems like the team don't. I mean, no one really wants to trade for that. I mean, right now Vikings would have been a place. I mean, Rams would have been a place, but the Rams select their quarterback for the future. So
Yeah,
maybe the Jets, but the Jets picked up Cade. Um,
yeah. The Jets are gonna have a top pick next year. They have like two. They have our first round pick next year too. So depending on how good or how bad we are, the Jets could have two like top 15 picks.
man, they did this year. So they had 16. They had us. They had their top pick two. They had their top 2 pick, and then they had us at 16.
Put into perspective, the Jets really fleeced us.
You said fix us.
Oh yeah, I think so. Unless Sauce Gardner's lights out and the Colts make the playoffs this year, the Jets totally.
Well, the short games that he played, he wasn't bad. I know people will say, well, look at certain things in this game where they're saying he's bad. He's bad, whatnot. Like you said, I mean,
How many
you
games
just
did
have
he
to
play?
see.
Like 3?
Played 3 games because he's his first game. I think it was
The London
the
game.
Germany game,
Or Germany, yeah.
and then
He
he
was
came
actually
back
really
and
good in that game.
huh?
He was really good in that game.
Yeah. And then I think he ended up getting that concussion. Yeah, he got a concussion in the game against the Jags. And he got hurt the
3 or
first
4
game.
weeks.
Yeah. So he didn't play like terrible. It's just that he was getting acclimated to. He got traded in season, try to get acclimated to a different team, different city. So you don't have the full off season. You didn't get that out. You didn't get that full off season. You were learning on the fly.
Yeah.
So I give him that grace when it comes to that because he didn't play terrible. Now Mooney had full everything, and Mooney just couldn't stay healthy. So
I'm concerned about Mooney and his ability to stay healthy.
yeah. So those are the things that I'm looking at when I look at the team. It just next week is going to tell us when we have our episode for the scheduling when it drops. We're going to see what where the team will fold for the year, give our predictions, and go from there. But but the AR being QB2 and still learning, and I know it bothered him being a 4th overall pick. He got everybody has pride. You don't want to be going from a starter to a second string or a third string, and you just want to get up out of there. But where can you go? Where if he was to leave us, where would you go? And he has the opportunity to start.
He's still very young. He's only 23.
Damn, still 23.
Very young. Yeah, he's very young.
I mean, he can go to Arizona and start.
Who's their quarter? It's Jacoby Brissett. He's not starting over Brissett. I wouldn't start him over Brissett.
They say Aaron Rodgers could go over there with the Cardinals. I've been seeing that.
Aaron Rodgers needs to go to a retirement home.
I'm done. I'm done with this him every year and holding the league hostage on who he want to play for. I'm done with that. I've been done with that. It's just annoying that he holds the league hostage on where he want to go, where he want to play, and how long he's gonna play, and it's just annoying to me. So, yeah. On that note, guys, Anthony Richardson back. We don't know how long he'll be back. We don't know if he's gonna still remain with the team or it's just something that he's just trying to learn from the previous 3 years of mistakes that he made. For his performance on the field. Right now, I think he less than 50% in completion. Less than 50 for his career.
Like 55, something like that, right?
Is he 55 or is he 49? Close to 50% in his years for his completion percentage.
It's something like that.
That's terrible. I know you're looking at it now.
Good. What's that?
You looking at it now?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Let's see. For his career, he is 50%. Or no, 50.6.
Ooh, I was close. 40, yeah. I said 49, so yeah. He at 50,
Yeah.
so it needs to be bumped up all the way up.
Yeah.
So, or is it, you can say organization failed him or he failed himself. He didn't do himself any justice, especially when you are tapping out of the game. But we know our fans that watch us every week are seeing that he's still on the team and they want him gone. So that experiment is almost pretty much over. So it's going to be interesting to see what the team does for us, where they send him, or they just go ahead and keep him. Like you said, just be a backup. We've seen what having quarterbacks you've seen the quarterback play last year, and even the previous years when I was top quarterback. This team has always been, if one player is out, we're done. Like when Peyton Manning was here, if Peyton Manning is out, we're cooked.
Yep.
Having Jim Sorgi, and then we had Curtis Payne, it was ugly. When Andrew Luck got hurt, who did we have? Scott
Who's
Tozine?
that guy that we had? It was awful.
Scott Tozine, and you had
Ozine, yeah. My God, that guy was terrible.
Brissett was a third quarterback for the Patriots behind Jimmy G.
Yep.
Traded for him. He was our starter. This has been terrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys, on that note, we are going to get out of here, guys. We're going to see y'all next week where we hopefully will have the scheduler. Hopefully, I think they said between the 12th and the 14th. So, in our show,
that's typically when it is.
What is it?
Typically around that time.
'Cause I know we got an episode on 12th, so I don't know if we want to wait until the actual day.
Looks like as of yesterday, the NFL schedule release could be delayed by a week.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, we'll know. We'll know by next week where we are as far as the schedule, and when when the official dates hit. So on that note, guys, look out for that schedule release date, and we'll have our episode where we'll break down each schedule, the teams on the schedule, and give our prediction in the coming weeks, and see how the team will fare during the season with the parts that we have. Hopefully, we can add more parts on the team to put us in position to be in the playoffs, because we haven't done it so much, and we haven't done it that many times in 10 years. This guy being in GM, we only made it playoffs twice in 10 years. So hopefully, we can definitely make another appearance and somewhat win a playoff game. When you agree, Harish?
I just want to see it, man. I forgot what the playoffs looks like.
Yeah, I don't know. We see it in other sports. We see it in college football. We see it in college basketball. We see it in NBA, but we don't see it in NFL with our team.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe one day. So we'll just pray one day that we can get that point. But on that note, let everybody know where they can find you and what you have going on Thursday on the podcast show for Texas Longhorn Pan Battle.
Yeah, you can find me at the Uncle Gandhi everywhere. Find me and my boy Tim Wayne every Thursday, 8:30 p.m. only on TikTok. We might come back to YouTube. We're testing some things out on TikTok. We've got a little bit better viewership there. So we'll be live Thursday nights, 8:30 p.m. This week, I don't know what we're talking about this week. Probably the SEC softball tournament. We'll talk SEC baseball. And then, we'll probably find something to talk about, because we always have to talk about SEC football. So,
do you think Arch Manning is unanimous first overall pick next year?
As of today, if we're just solely judging off the second half of last year, then yes.
Okay.
If we're judging like the entire season, he might be like top. But even like mock drafts this year have him like going. This is here. If you don't have him in like the top as the number one quarterback going, fine, right? But this is what's really interesting to me. Like, and this again goes back to like these draft evaluators and what they're evaluating. Julian Sagan's currently ranked the number one quarterback.
I don't know why, but go ahead.
I don't think he's that good. When you have the benefit of a generational talent like Jeremiah Smith, are you? I mean, are you? Well, it'd be very interesting to see how Julian Sagan plays. See, that's a guy that I think that could potentially fall down in value.
My problem will always be with those teams like that at Oregon. And I know Dante Moore pretty good, but it's like he had like generation talent around him. But
I don't think Dante Moore is. I don't think Dante Moore is better than Arch Manning. I think I think Arch Manning's better than Dante Moore, and I don't think it's particularly close.
Well, I'm just saying, like when they give Sagan that type of praise and saying he's number, you had Tate, you had he didn't have Marv Harrison. That was CJ. But when you
had Tate, he had Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah. So you have, and he had a slew of good running backs as well. So it just
they had 3 top 10 picks and didn't even win a playoff game. He got beat by Miami.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
And pretty handily too, right? Like the game was that offense didn't do anything in the playoffs.
And then IU beat him. I mean, IU good.
Yeah, they got beat by IU, and I mean again, that IU team was really good, right? They're super old veteran team. That's all right, but you can't that was not a good Miami Hurricanes, right?
No, it was not.
And that's where it comes back to like styles make matchups. They just matched up really well with them.
I forgot
Yeah,
that
that's
quarterback.
pretty good.
The quarterback from Miami went to Cardinals. They drafted him.
In third round, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So
We'll see. I think by the season's end, Arch Manning will be the number one pick.
oh, yeah, I got no doubt in that.
But I wouldn't pick him number one today. He might be like number two.
What's that?
I'm fine with that.
What's that quarterback from A&M? Is he out?
That
Coming
dude
out?
sucks. Marcel Reed. Marcel Reed is awful.
Sellers.
Don't. Oh, Sellers. I think. I'm surprised the South Carolina coach wasn't fired.
I thought he did. Oh, did he? No.
No, they gave him another year. But Sellers, I think, is really good. They just had a lot of injuries, and Sellers was out there running for his life.
He was.
But I think he'll bounce back this year. He's definitely somebody to look out for. I think they're going to bounce back.
I'm trying to see. Didn't somebody got paid a lot of money? Was A&M coach got paid a lot of money and they played bad? Somebody
A&M
it was
coach
A&M.
got paid a lot of money, but they made the playoffs, right? They didn't play well like the last 5 weeks of the season
Yeah,
in classic A&M fashion.
yeah.
Right? They got beat by Texas. They got beat down at home by Miami, and this is all after he got paid.
Yeah, he got paid hella money.
So we'll see how and again A&M's schedule last year was really easy. It's gonna be a lot tougher. We'll see how they do with the legitimate schedule. A&M played the entire bottom half of the SEC. They didn't play a single team in the top 5.
I think we got them. I think we have them next year as well. I think.
Do you?
I think so. I got to look again, but I think we do have them next year, and I think we have Georgia again as well.
No, A&M avoids Georgia like the plague. I don't know who they're paying. They've never played Georgia.
No, I said we have Georgia again.
Like
No,
I think they've
we got
only played
Georgia again.
Georgia like once. Yeah, so A&M doesn't even play Alabama. Oh yeah, they do. They go to Alabama.
Yeah.
So they play at LSU, at Alabama, at South Carolina, at Oklahoma. And then home versus Tennessee, Texas, and at Missouri. They have a lot of road games next year. It'll be interesting. Their non-con is weak, as per usual. So they'll probably try to stack wins against like Kentucky. I don't think A&M's schedule is all that easy. Like LSU's going to be good next year. I think LSU will.
Oh, they got the new quarterback.
9-3.
They got the Sam Herrick.
Yeah, I like Sam Levitt.
Let me Levitt. That's what it is. Yeah, he good. Did he play Arizona?
Yep, Arizona State.
Yeah, he definitely gonna be good. And they got a good coach as well too. So I give Lane Kiffin give him his props. LSU gonna be pretty good. I don't ever want to doubt what Lane Kiffin can do because he did that with Ole Miss. He kind of put them in position. They'd be good, but he left them. So.
But anyway, that's what we'll talk about on Thursday. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Yeah, my bad. I know we kind of got off track, man. Talking college. I love talking college football just like I talk NFL. I need to come on your show one time, man. Talk about, whenever we play y'all again because we owe y'all a get back. Y'all beat us twice, so it's kind of.
Yeah, I'm good with not playing like Bama and Georgia for a couple of years. I'm all right with that.
I got you. You can find me at I'm Josh Senior. You can find Austin at Cookie Austin #2. You also can find the podcast everywhere from again TikTok, Facebook, Twitch, X, all the name, IG, all the good names, all the good stuff at HS Mob Podcast. HS Mob Podcast on YouTube. Give us a subscription, man. Follow us on all other social medias. Like, comment, all the above. Thank you guys for tuning in on this episode. We'll be back next week. Hopefully we have the schedule so we can talk about the good stuff that we have for this team moving forward for the 2026 season. So on that note, guys, we'll see y'all next week. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we're out.